This is a guide for how to assemble the border control. To assemble the border control, you're going to need the following parts and tools. Take the gauge assembly. Place the gauge assembly on the outside of the tube and place and insert the bolt through the hole on the tube. This is located on the outside of the left handlebar. Tighten the lock nut onto the bolt to secure the gauge assembly in place. Loosen the upper bolt holding the left side of the back stand on the main frame, removing the upper bolt completely. Insert the pivot bracket on the back stand. Reintroduce the bolt and tighten the lock nut. The pivot bracket should now be secured in place. Insert the pivot rod end through the hole in the pivot bracket as shown. Push the pivot as far in as possible to allow you to connect the rod into the border control. Connect the pivot rod to the border control. Secure the end of the pivot rod in place with the R-pin as shown. Insert the L-shaped end of the control rod into the remaining hole in the pivot bracket. Place the other end of the control rod through the rod stopper on the underside of the gauge assembly. Put the gauge assembly lever in the on position. The border control sliding plate needs to also be in the on engaged position. Tighten the adjuster screw as shown to secure the remote control rod to the gauge assembly. You have successfully assembled the border control in your spreader.